This conference will now be recorded.
Very good afternoon, everyone. So thank you for coming over for this e-meet. A few more attendees are expected. They will let them join anyway. So today we have a special professional, an architect, Chandrakant, with us. All right. So he is the founder and principal architect at Foresight Architects, Bangalore. Right. So before I proceed further, just want to ensure that everybody is able to see the screen that I'm sharing, and also I am being audible. If yes, can you please type in the chat window saying yes? Perfect. Very nice. Okay, cool. All right. So architect Chandrakant, as I said, is a founder and principal architect. He always insisted not just on great design, but also on flawless execution of the project. A passion for limitless architecture inspires him in every project he works on. He believes in an open work culture, communication, and deep collaboration within the firm and outside firm ensures delighted clientele at the end of every project. Architect Chandrakant is graduated with honors from BVB CET Hubli in 2004. His undergraduate thesis project was awarded a first prize by State Technical Board of Karnataka. He is trained with architect Satish Rachanavar in 2004. As an architect or team lead at Chandravakar and Thakur Architects, it's called CNT Architects Bangalore, worked on many projects and completions which received awards and recognition. Before venturing into his own practice, Chandrakant had academic positions at RV School of Architecture, Bangalore, and BVB College of Engineering and Technology, Hubli. He visits many of the architectural schools as design reviews to explore his theory and practice. I would like to welcome Mr. Chandrakant, Architect Chandrakant, to please start with his presentation. For that, let me just unshare my screen so that Chandrakant can share the screen, right?
Good morning, everyone. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Chandrakant.
Yeah, so I think screen has to be.
Yeah, you could share the screen. So meanwhile, guys, this is a great opportunity for you to e-meet a professional like architect Chandrakant, okay? And as you all are either design aspirants or parents of design aspirants or here to understand the process of architecture, okay? So please feel free to ask your questions, and the mode for asking questions is by typing your question in the chat window, okay? And kindly keep your mics muted all throughout so that there is less disturbance. Okay. Chandrakant, are you able to share your screen?
No, I haven't able to.
All right. So in the same window, if you bring your mouse pointer onto the screen. At the bottom row, you can see 5 options. The third option is a screen option. Yeah, we can see your video. The next button is the screen button. You can share your screen.
Yeah, so that screen is, I'm trying to click and then it, yeah.
Oh, is it? Okay, I'm sorry. So I think I need to make
Should,
the presenter. Just a minute. Hold on. That's my bad. Okay, and I request everyone other than the speaker to switch off their videos. All right. There's no need for streaming the video. Okay, Chandrakant, now you should be able to see the screen to share.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, fine. Thank you, Umesh, having me here, and good evening, everyone.
Welcome, Chandrakant.
Yeah. So today I'll share a story of Grill Sandwich House. So this is our project at Bangalore, BTM layout. So we'll explore according to this location and then how this project leading. Yeah. Okay, we are set. So here, when the client had come, so they had a design brief for the project, uh, very exuberant requirements over a 30 feet by 42 feet site. So they wanted to have a lower level parking space and then one BHK unit and two duplex units and then the penthouse. So
That's a lot to
basically,
be asked from a small site.
yes, yeah. So basically, the lower level, what they're asking is two numbers of duplex for their two brothers and one BHK at the lower level for renting purpose, so that they can pay their EMIs. And they wanted a WASTU compliant project, and they looking at more of security everywhere as the client stays in abroad and then parents are here, so the old parents has to be get secured with the overall building.
Right.
So challenge is to achieve that, like having a more families and then within the building height with the statutory height limits. So site and the context is what you can see as marked up is a Silkboard Junction, Bangalore, and from there it is closed and then walkable distance at Dollars Colony, 4th B Cross.
Okay.
So that's the site. What you can see. So we have how the site is located with the overall neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
So design evolution, how we started was, this is a design brief where they're talking about building almost 4.5 floors there. Whereas in
Mm-hmm.
Bangalore municipality, BBMP, you can build still plus 3 floors.
Okay.
So we told our client that you can't build so much, and as per our building limits, we can build only still plus 3. So then they had come up with the idea of making a still duplicate 2 units, but it is 1.5 floors each. So what you can see is the in the screen second diagram, which they are talking about 1.5 floors each. So it was a kind of a compromise as architectural spaces inside, because when you do that kind of just a mathematical order, will not get exact spaces. So we were worried, and then so then we started working out how we want to make this workable. So then we come up with the idea of sandwiching the floors. So basically the whole section, what you can see on the last diagram is making sandwiching the floors.
Okay.
So that is what you can see. And we'll quickly show our audience a quick video of how we come up with this. It is there on YouTube. So what we can see is, can you able to see the YouTube screen?
Yes, we can. So you can probably make it full screen.
Yes, we can. Yeah. So this is how we done it, like cutting and then hammering down the roof. So with sandwiching the floors. So that is what we're calling this project as sandwich house. So first we done as a first solution of design is making it sandwiched. So is everyone saw this video?
Right. Yes.
Yes. Okay. Fine. So basically, we removed some slabs and then hammered down, and then we done sandwiched floors over here. Okay. We'll again resume. Yeah. So after this, so basically from 4 floors, we come down to 3 floors. So that is what you can see. So the building height, we try to squeeze in so that it is approved by the BBMP as such.
Interesting.
So then we started working out with the floor plans and then how it works, fitting in our requirements and then Vastu compliant situation. So most of the projects starts with plan and then go to a section. But whereas in this project, because of height restrictions, we started with the section and then we started working out floor plans. So these sections and then the plans I'll explain further uh, videos. So in this case, if you see, this is how the different volumetric spaces we are getting in a whole project. So it is not in a one single space. Every project, what we see as a duplex 10 feet and then the 20 feet. But whereas here we had a spaces, created a spaces because of sandwich floors, 16 feet, 18 feet, and then we have a 10 feet each masses for bedrooms.
Right.
And so we started with some kind of a circulation diagram, how all these units has to get connected with the staircase and then the lift. Because if you see diagram on the right side, it has to have total 40 feet height, and then the provision of lift is must for most of the projects now, because we look forward projects, not just current scenario. So even though client didn't had a requirement of lifts, but we proposed saying that you do not require now, but we can do a space left and it can be installed later stage. So we created a one circulation core, so that will lead to all these units. So these are the floor plans. We'll explain in more of third dimension images. So in the section, we tried creating a cross ventilation and then creating that visual connectivity over the entire project. So in this case, so client were asking about security system. So what we done over in this project is, after sandwiching the floors, second design solution, what you can see is we done the project completely with grilled aesthetics in facade. So that becomes aesthetic by itself. And then that is the economical aesthetics what we could do, because client were asking they don't want to spend much on the exterior as a building. They don't want to show much of their luxury or something from exterior. They wanted to spend their budget of the house more on interiors. So we'll just again quickly run through one of the video how this transformation we done for the grill sandwich house. So first one was sandwiching the floors. Second one was grilling the project. So again, you can just go through this YouTube video. So cutting down the slabs, removing, hammering down, sandwiching the floors, and we are putting the grills in front. So that's the spaces. And
Yeah, very
now
interesting.
so one more video is after this is how spaces are connecting.
Mhm.
Yeah, so this video is talking about their requirements, lower level parking, and then you come to a foyer space, living space, kitchen, bedroom. So that's the family one.
Mhm.
That's a family. Yeah. So how these connections happens between the spaces. So those colors are given as a darker shade.
Mhm.
So it's always connected as a space here. Yeah. So that's where we started calling this project as grill sandwich house. So it is. All right. Hey, it was good to see you today. Today, because we are making progress. Okay, sorry. Yeah. So first we started with sandwiching the floors, and then we had a grill aesthetics. So in a office, we started calling this as like a grilled sandwich house. So this is the volumetric space of the cutaway section perspective. So how these spaces are looking inside. So we'll quickly
Mhm.
go through some of facade how we developed over here. So basically, I'm taking you through complete our design process from the day one, how it has happened, and then the project ran through for 2.5 years from design to till execution.
Mhm.
Yeah. So once we finished our that facade as a diagrams and then sections, so then we started working out exact elevations. So you could see this south elevation is a front facade, and west elevation is the side elevation. So as per section, the facade is expressiveness of the what is building inside, and then what is been showing up outside. So it is actually a kind of white and gray massing of the project. So it is so all the window openings are covered with grilled sandwich feel, so that all the window openings and then the glazed doors are covered with MS grills. So I'll explain this with photos. So these are the sections we started working out further, making it conceptual to making it real-time working drawings for the project takes a lot of effort and a lot of sweat to get that workable.
Mhm.
Yeah. So in this case, you can see that how the spaces are moving. And other section, which is secondary section where the bedrooms are connected here, and then it is having a toilet spaces. It is a very complex section as well. So this is what we propose to the clients. So when we finish all our design diagrams, and then we show it to client, okay, this is how the project is going to look like before it starts. So client will go through this, and then they will ask questions, and then like we will justify, and then why it is done, and then so each and every aspect of design is justified as a with the justification. So even having this kind of a white and gray, and then the mass where it is blank wall, and then where it is a solid wall, why this door is to be openable like this, why it has to be sliding. So everything is thought through, and then it's presented. So after this, we start finding a contractor, and then so we need to create a bill of quantities, which is we need to do a estimation bill, costing and estimation for the project, so that clients are willing to fund this project, and then they are aware of what project cost would be, and accordingly we will work with the specification, what material they're going to use, and then how this whole things goes further. So after the this entire schematic design is done, so then we need to move on to structural design. So structural design, as architects, we do study structural design, theory of structures in academics, but we still need a professional consultants who actually helps in calculations. And then so as architects, we understand structure by intuitive, and then like now with our experience with kind of when we're doing a design, so you have that intuition of with the model, okay, we can understand, okay, this is going to be built. So after doing structural design, and then when we go to a site, so excavation is it starts, and then so as we estimated, so tentatively with certain depth, but actually at site, that area was supposed to be a lake bed almost 100 years ago, and then it was filled out earth, and we could encounter a lot of moisture, and then the watery kind of a surface on the land. So then we went down another 3.5 foot, much more deeper, to get a natural ground hard soil. So these are the sections. So we would be analyzing structural design from with respect to as aesthetics, where all the beams and then the columns has to come, and then it doesn't hinder our the architectural spaces inside. So these are the technical drawings what we receive from structural engineer, and then we check, and then we approve, and then we draw a lot of sections how it works, how it is comply with our architectural design. So architect's responsibility is even though we hire a professional structural consultant, but the whole responsibility of the project belongs to architect himself. So so we architects has to be very responsible, and then we should be not just designing a good aesthetics or something like that. We need to make sure that it is executed the way it is being designed. So you can see here, so we encountered some design challenge where we can't have one column for staircase, and then how we resolved. So that is a more technical stuff. I'll leave it at this point of time. So we resolved working with a structural engineer, so who happened to be more passionate about getting this resolved, going extra mile. So next comes electrical design, where we again so for a small project, we will not go with one more consultant for electrical design. So in this one, we done it ourselves, because we had a experience of handling this with the electrical contractor versus electrical designer. So in electrical design, so we need to have that complete DB distribution boards, and then like how the routing has to work, and we need to find a common area where for any maintenance of tripping and other things, so that has to be addressed, and also how the earthing is done, and then so those are the technical stuff which again you'll be learning in academics. But again, when we come to professional, so we need to be working with the consultants and then contractor, and then through experience you learn things better. So again, in this project, since it was like a sandwich floor, so finding a one common place for DB was a concern over here. But still, we managed to pull these things off. So next comes the plumbing design. So while plumbing design is your how the bathrooms and then how the uh, your water supply systems works in this case. So in the project, we had a rainwater harvesting system. So actually, we collect all the rainwater and then take it to a sump tank, and then again you treat this and then pull it back in the system for flushing and all that. So again here into the design, what we done is so we tucked in our both the all the toilets in one corner. And if you see the building aesthetics, you will not see single pipe which is hanging outside and then as aesthetics. So it is thoughtfully worked out plumbing ducts. It reduces the number of pipelines, and then it is easy to access for any maintenance. So audience, am I going fine? Are you guys getting the presentation? Say yes on the your
Yeah, you can say with
chat
an S.
box. Yeah,
Yes, a lot of people are saying yes. Pretty good.
great. So everyone is with me. So
Yeah.
these are things what I was telling you. So there is a plumbing lines in a red lines. What you can see. So there are the in the middle picture you can see there are a number of toilets what we have. But as a facade, you will not see a single pipe from outside. So it has been engineered such that the building is designed as a product, as a car. So if you see car, like no, it is completely designed uh, like no with the craftsmanship, with the engineering, with the science. The same way the architectural design is done in this project is as meticulous as a product design. So each and everything is being taken care in this. So yeah, next is our interior design or internal spaces. What we could see, I'll explain in the section. So what you can see here is central space where you enter, and then you could see that nice foyer space area. And then on the right hand side, what you have this space, you can see that section says it is seamlessly connected with upper level and then the lower level, so that arrow mark says that you are visually connected. And then it is very good for any duplicate units. When we say duplicate unit, it is always connections. Visual connections is what makes it great spaces. So this is section across other flip side. So how the spaces is connected. So living, dining, kitchen are well connected. Bedroom space with the study is again connected, looking down. So these are the third dimension of the same duplicate in a more 3D perspective. So section A talks about the section what we drawn as a red color as a line. What you could see is that section what you can see as a section A, and we move our section line to the next line which is a B section. So that's a section where the all the bedrooms are there. So there are 3 bedrooms in this each duplex. Yeah. So in a 30 feet by 40 feet, we are building a 6 feet, 3 bedroom to 2 duplex units. So that's a quite a bit of challenge. So this is the next duplex unit, which is again at section A. Other one is again 3 bedrooms on other section of the bay. And upper level, we plan to do a penthouse. In fact, later stage, the penthouse is not built, but it is all the provisions are made to build a penthouse. Because of their personal reason, they had to move to Australia. So that was a different case. Yeah. So this is the facade. What you can see as grill sandwich. So you can see that there is a combination of white and then gray massing. So gray represents all the windows and then the openings of the house, and then it is being grilled. So usually the grill, for a security reason, you would be doing it inside the windows, as in you have a window and then there is a grill inside. That is what the conventional way of doing design. But whereas in this case, we pulled out our grills itself in front, it became a part of aesthetics, and it made it as a augmented as a overall booster for our aesthetics. So these are the side and then the rear elevation. So when we doing a design, so always it is considered nothing as front and then back elevation. So as a product, it is being designed homogeneously everywhere. So even on the right hand side, on the west facade, we created a windows kept very minimal because it's on the west facade. So sun moves from east to west. For bedrooms, if you keep a lot of windows on the west, what happens is it will be deeper penetration of into your bedrooms. And also, since there was a neighbor buildings, so to keep it more private, we kept windows to a little minimum. On the rear side, which is on the north side, north light you get always a diffuse light because sun moves 23-degree towards the south. So always north facade is always going to be a shaded one. So that's why we created a little larger openings. That's the major light source for any in Indian context. So this is the facade again from the front aesthetics. Yeah, so this is from other side. This is a rear view. Yeah. So right hand side, what you can see the image is that's a foyer space, and the first left hand side, what you see is the main veranda. So when you come out of the lift and then the come out of the like when you enter into a staircase, that is what you can see. It's a 16 feet height, uh, like no volumetric space for a veranda with a proper seating, nice seating where you can remove your shoes and then you enter. So, and then the door and window at this east facade is again east is mainly you get a morning sun which is refreshing, and then it is good with uh, vitamin good vitamins where they can come and then be part of this area. And the whole facade on this area you could see, except the main door, we try to create windows, get more light source from this east side. And once you enter into a main door, so you could see that nice entry foyer. Again, this is a height of 18 feet, and that makes you kind of welcome home. And the color combinations is being done with a white background and then throwing some splash of color at the background over here. So once you move on the right, you would experience the living room with a high volume that will give you that sense of much bigger space than what it is. So once you turn around, you would see from living room sneak peek of dining area and then a kitchen area next to it. And you could see there are two images. One is door shutter closed for the master bedroom, and then one more door open. So once you open that, there is a glass railing there, so you can actually connect a master bedroom study space. So both the couples for a master bed, so it is they're all working professionals, and then they keep working uh, according to different timeline, working with US clients and all that. So we created a space. They should not feel like they're into a bedroom. They're still part of the house whenever it is required. But so they can be still connected with the family, because old parents, they will not be going up. So we kept old parents at the lower level. Yeah. So you could still explore some more views of this, where left hand side you could see how this master bedroom, how we getting the vision connected, and then the number of steps what we need to climb to the children bedroom. We again made it part of some storage units. It becomes a shoe rack. It becomes a kind of library shelves. On the right hand side, in this project, actually we avoided the staircase as a block. Uh, so the staircase, what happens is, when we use as a block into any project, it takes up the space of its own. So in this project, we made the floor itself moving on to different spaces, so that you will not feel that there is a staircase at any point of time. So this is the kitchen, and then a dining space. So the elder in the house, when they're cooking, and then both the parents can start a dialogue, and then they want to, since it is a retired parents, they can be spending more time together than like sitting in a different places. So that is where dining and living was designed very close knit as a space. So this is from the master bedroom space. What you could see is again opened up door, and then which you look down, and then you can connect to the living room. Whereas on the other side, when you feel you need a focused working atmosphere, so you can close them, and then make it part of your master bedroom. So these are the spaces. As an architect, we should create flexible spaces where people can utilize as in when they want to, according to their mood and then the feelings.
Chandrakant, if I may ask a question here, one of the
Yeah,
attendees is asking, isn't there any barricade between that master bedroom and the double height space? There is a
yeah.
door, right?
There is a
So,
there is
yeah.
a glass railing. There is a glass
Oh,
railing is provided. Yeah, while shooting the project, what happening is that glass railing was removed at that point of time, because it was uh, it was reflecting the light what is there inside. We are not able to see it in a camera. When we see it in a naked eye, always we could see the spaces, but when you put the lights on and then you put a glass, it always reflects. It's like a talking to a person with a glass. You always see the reflection of yourself, you'll not see the eyes. So it is the
right.
same scenario here. So we removed the glass, and then we took a picture. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
Yes. So that is what the project is. So client. So these are the fact files, and then we had a great team working on this project. So there is Rohit, and then Varshit, Ranjani, Skritika, Vidya, Sangeeta. So everyone. So usually what happens is this project ran for almost 2.5 years. So what happens is, somebody we design will happen, and then so 1 year, 1.5 years, so people again work, and then they look for again kind of doing a masters or something like that. So as architect, we should keep the spirit of the design going throughout every month on month to the people and then within the office, and then we need to keep communicating to our clients about what's project is happening in this project, to tell the story. So the client who is their son was he stays in Australia, so he only came to us to finalize us as architects. After that, he never come to site because he stays in Australia. So only project updates he used to get through emails, WhatsApp images. That's it. Otherwise, the whole project, whole and soul, he left it with us to complete the project. So what happened is the project usually of this size uh, usually we could complete in 1.5 years, but this is went through demonetization and then a lot of GST norms, and then many things had come. So it is apart from doing design itself, architect has to even go through a lot of socio and then economic issues, and then like how do you handle those such issues, and then like how do you handle your clients, contractors, how do you handle your consultants, people within, and then and even sometime uh, since the project was delaying, even the elders in the family, they were emotionally what do you call disturbed, so we could even like kind of make them comfortable, like the project will be finishing soon. Yeah. So our client, after this project is done, he himself, the project got featured in Archilo. So Archilo.com, which is one of the what do you call top architectural website in the world. So Archelo.com. So it is called ARCHELLO.com. So after looking at that, client has written a testimony on our Google reviews, and he has given so much of admiration, and then so always he's what do you call? He look forward, like for any next projects or something. So that is very nice at end of the project. Yeah. So that's it on this project. I didn't specify much on the photos because design process and then what all things uh, what we stress upon. So I'll even share the link of that Archelo so that they can see photos much more in a bigger size or bigger screens.
Yeah, that is very nice insight into the entire design process, Chandrakant. So
Yeah,
one of the
my
participants,
pleasure.
Levi, is asking, okay, how does it feel to be an architect?
Okay. Uh, yeah. So architectural profession is such that you will not encounter a single day which is same. So always you are moving, and then you are always on top of project. And also as an architect, we need to create we need to play a different multiple roles. As first thing is you need to be a gentle human being to understand everyone involved in the project, everyone involved within the office, outside office, clients, consultants, and many people. So it is about being kind and then listening. You need to be a good listener as architect, and then after all these things, then is like we need to switch on our creative energy, and then like we need to again explain our design ideas which caters to all of these design issues and then the design problem itself. So that way being an architect is very nice experience, at least for me, because so you always keep exploring things on a every day. the same design philosophy what we done for this project is not the same for next project, because the context is different, the clients are different, your site is different, the site is not in Bangalore or the same position, so it is a different scenario. So every day is a new day, and then as architect is like I am a better person today than yesterday.
True, true. And it is a very satisfying feeling when you see a product that you have conceptualized actually is built and people are using it.
True, yeah.
Yeah. So a couple of more questions on the same project that you have done. Okay. So Soham is asking, now we have this 18 feet height space, and there are a couple of
Yeah,
fans at a very high ceiling, kept at a very high ceiling. So he's asking, would that
yeah.
be enough to ventilate the space?
Okay, yeah. Fine. What we done is, if you see those 18 feet is at the veranda space. What you could see here is, you can see the screen. So 18 feet is over here. What we done is, at the living room level, we taken 1.5 feet fall ceiling space, which is to reduce that
Okay.
volume. And
Okay.
we taken the fans, what we another 3.5 feet down. You can see in the pictures. Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
So what you could see here as a space, here it is 16 feet. The window, what you can see there is at 8 feet window,
Hmm.
and other one is 7 feet. So from there we taken a 3.5 foot down the span point. So 12 up to 10 to 12 feet, the fan would work nicely.
Right. Right.
Yes, and
Interesting.
also we used a fan which is at that time it was a recently launched a fan which is called Aeroquite from
Hmm.
Orient. So it was we experienced. We went to a showroom and then we experienced it is much noiseless. It is
Hmm.
built with the design of aeroplane blades. So it
Right.
is very silent. It is gives a very nice breeze. So as architect, again, it's like using a fan. Also, we need to. It's a good question. So it is like we had a tough time to resolve this. So we done an exercise of making it going to uh, understanding the fans, and then how any new technology has come, and then whether it is fits into our budget, unlike any 1,000 rupees bar, like no fans. So so it is each and every getting a knowledge about each project, each item is not just that. It is we need to get into a more deeper knowledge about the same, and we need to apply at each point of time.
Yeah. So as you said, um, some might find that, okay, is this a issue that important, like selecting a fan? But it is so very important. As an architect, one will have to go through so many such minute details to make the living in a space more habitable and comfortable, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And also
So,
one more story is here. In the living
mhm,
room, you can see that left side there is a artwork
yes.
is there. Some artwork is there. I don't have an image of other side. Let me check. Okay, so the both the children of the family they stay outside. So what happens is these elder parents they one stays in Canada and then other one stays in Australia. So they
Hmm.
used to call them on a Indian time, and then where they'll be sleeping.
Right.
Okay. So what we done is, so client wanted to make them. We supposed to give them a 3 clocks now in as part of interior design.
Right.
So then, if you put a 3 clocks, then it looks like any corporate office in the house.
Correct. Correct.
So what we done is, not able to zoom in the screen. Yeah, you
Mhm.
can see that. So what we done is craft, carefully we designed kind of a abstract art which is showing
Mhm.
like a geographical space. So center one is our Indian thing, where it's a Indian IST, Indian Standard Time, and other one is Canada timing on the top left hand corner, and Australia, which is as a geographically it is on southeast. So we created on the right hand bottom corner. So looking at that
Mhm.
timeline, they could able to call them. So we explained our client, okay, whenever you're calling, please look at this timeline, this clock, and understand, and then call them. So that
Interesting.
way, so it is like as part of interior design, not just like it's skin deep. It is like a lot of thought, and then things have.
Yeah.
And
True.
this is one thinking. After that, making it happen is like calling the contractor and then explaining the idea, and then so we need to go to a clock uh, person, and then
Mhm.
getting it executed is a very amazing journey.
Right. Right. So a couple of more questions regarding the same project.
Okay.
Um, the budget is mentioned as 1.5 crore. So was it
Yeah.
revised in between, or was the project executed within that budget?
No, that is a completed project with architecture and interiors.
Oh wow. Okay. All
Yeah.
right. And uh, yeah, Pragna is asking. Okay, so now we have these grills on the exterior.
Okay.
So when it rains during the monsoon seasons, would water not enter the balconies?
Water would enter the balconies because these are all not balconies as such. It is there is a utility space on the right hand side, and then
Hmm.
rest of other side we it's not a balcony space because in a 30-40 site having these fitting these requirements is a tough task, and again we need to leave setbacks and all that. So so with all this consideration, utility space only we covered with the top
All
what do
right.
you call a glass covering, but rest of other things are open, so it's not covered because when we put any covering on the facade, again it will block the wind, and then
Hmm.
ventilation is going to be compromised.
So basically, by using glass, you had ensured that water would not enter a space where it is generally usable. Otherwise, to allow ventilation, it was kept open.
Yes,
All right. Okay, great. So
yes.
Chaitanya is asking, okay, generally how many architects are employed to complete one bungalow?
Okay. So in this case, depending upon the size of the project. So in this project, for these kind of urban residential project, there will be one project architect plus a principal architect heading the project.
Right. Right.
Yes. Apart from this, you will be having many consultants, structural, electrical, plumbing, and that kind of things.
Hmm.
And some interns also join in for some of the working. So what happens is sometime when you have a presentation for a client, there will be one project architect will be there from throughout. But whereas if you need any presentation or something, we pull in from other team. They will be coming and then working on the
Right.
presentation. Yeah.
Right. So two attendees, Rakshita and Pushpalata, they are
Okay.
asking similar kind of a question. Okay, so what inspired you to be an architect, and how was your journey as you moved into the architecture field. Could you please shed some light on your journey and what made you become an architect?
Okay, great. Yes. Uh, so, as a my childhood, I was good at sketching, and then I was so in my family a lot of commercial artists are there, and then a lot of my grandmother used to do Ganeshas and all that. So there is something in myself. And from my childhood, so I used to go to vacations with my mother, and then their commercial artists who were my uncle. So I used to spend time with them and then learn those arts and painting and all that. So that is where that kind of eye for kind of art and other thing was there. So by the time from sixth standard, I become kind of within my vicinity good artist, and then in terms of calligraphy and then doing signboards and all that. By my PU 1 and 2, so one of the project of Chaudhary project, there was a architect who designed, and then for a fundraiser, they're supposed to do one big holding of 8 feet by 4 feet size signboard, which has to be painted in oil painting. So that time I'm talking about this one 20 years back. That time there was not much flex and then all that. So we need to actually paint it, which has to be kept in front of site. So architect has given a painting of A3 size with a colored visualizer. So that one's supposed to be put it exactly in a 8 feet by 4 feet size. So what I had done is uh, in 10 days the assignment was done, and then it was presented to the architect. So architect felt so happy because of it was exactly same, like it is the color and then the design idea, everything was proportionate, and then it is very nicely done. So he told that since who has done this, and then he has a nice hand to do this kind of design. So they suggested, the architect suggested that contractor, okay. So he told that he's doing second PU, and then he's he's into science stream. So then he suggested, okay, why don't he join architecture? So till then I was not aware of course of architecture. So that is where we made a that made myself to join architecture. So after joining architecture, it was nice, and so there is a training which happens in a last year of architectural course. For us, it was only one semester in the last 6 months. So I had come to Bangalore and then started working on projects, which is the firm called Satish Prabhu Architects. So I was there, and then so I was allowed to design a couple of projects along with the main principal architect. And then I was continued in that project for 3.5 years. And after that, I joined CNT. There I worked for almost 5 years, and then completed big apartment and then commercial complex projects. So as entrepreneur, I always had since I was learning and earning from my childhood, so always wanted to start my own practice. So I worked within all these architectural practices as if each project is my own. So I put in my effort to understand each and every corner of the project, and then why it is done this way, and then what are the consequences, or even going to my seniors in the firm. So I always used to check my intuitive solutions as an architect at that point of time. So even when I was working, so that to build my capabilities when I start my own career. So So it is the dream, and then making that dream work. So there is a lot of rigorous struggle is required to get the what currently we are here. So last over 7.5 years, starting Foresight Architects is again not a simple journey. Again, from when you start, like you start with your single-handedly, and again you get people and then employees again. So again the number of projects, and again how do you get projects, and then so when you do a, so always we get a projects through from your the firms what you worked before, and then the people who are associated with you, once you start they will see that okay, you had done a good job as an employee that time, so you can do a better job when you're on your own. So the journey is very good, and then I would say it's more than 7 years, and then I just feel we just started yesterday. Yeah, it's amazing feeling, and then yeah, look forward more projects, good projects here.
Nice, nice. So, so few of the participants would like to see few more pictures of your works. Could you show some of the projects that you have worked upon?
Yes, yeah. How much time we have?
No problem. So we can,
Fine.
we still have a lot
Okay.
of time. All right. So we can, yeah, you can show us your works. And Ishana is asking, do you travel a lot?
Uh, yes, as an architect, we should keep traveling. So, in the sense to understand, uh, that's what. So, as an architect, as I told you, we should be a human being, and so we need to know cultures, and then multiple geography, and then understand climate, uh, understand economy, and then social life. So you need to understand each and everything. So first within India, and then even abroad. So so it is. It's always good that we travel and then learn, or you need to learn by reading books. So we need to read a lot of books, and then you need to read visually. So what is read visually is like looking at an image, you start reading it in the sense, okay, what would be this project is going to look like, or this what do you call it? How this is going. It would have been designed as the inside space. So traveling, and then the sketching, and then visual reading is always important. Yeah. Can you see the screen? Yeah.
Yeah, we can
So
see
this
that.
is one more project, uh, which is 40 feet by 110 feet. So this project is in Hubli. So here it was a single residence, and then we could explore a lot of things here with the landscape, and then internal courts. So there was a park in front, and then so how do we connect to the park and then still keeping the privacy? So that was a concept over here. So from each space, you could actually see each of these spaces well connected, and they still connect to the park which is in front. So it has a roads on either side of the plot. So 110 feet is on both the sides. So if you see the front elevation of front and back is we kept try to keep it similar lines. So this project is around 4.5 CR. So here it is more designed designed with what clients were looking at, and then here the client wanted to showcase uh, like the same impact as interior versus exterior. So they were a business family with nature loving family, so they wanted to have more green into their project. So we're doing a couple of projects which is commercial projects. One second. Yeah, this is one more residential project. This is in Sarjapur Road. So this is the concept of tree hugger. So what is that is, again, this is a 40 feet by 60 feet plot. So client is from Kerala, and he's a CEO of Shova Developers Structural Glazing and MS Works division. So for him, designing a house was like a very methodological, and then he says since he comes from building industry, he wants very tectonic building, and then he comes from Kerala, so he wants that white and wood as kind of a theme. So he was very clear and crisp in his as the requirements, because he works with many developers or many clients, taking the requirements and then giving them a structural solutions, and then working with uh, like MS structures. So here for him when we're designing, it was nice, and then he was clean and clear about his decisions. So, and he was so particular about his timeline. In this project 4060 site, we started on a project on his wife's wedding. Sorry, on their wedding anniversary. The project timeline was set. So next year's on his wife's birthday, he want to inaugurate this. So he made sure that everything is construction, everything he only took and then completed here. So as a concept of tree hugger, in the Kerala architecture, what happens is you will have that courtyard house, which is central. You have a tree, and then you have a house built around the uh, house is built around that tree. So in this case, okay, not able to get that. Okay, it's fine. So what we've done here is, since it's a 40 feet by 60 feet, we can't achieve the same idea of central courtyard and then building around it. So what we've done is, we stacked this building to the one more floor, and then we made the tree from the ground level, and then we made this building hugging the tree. So in this case, the tree is being experienced at the lower level, and then it is experienced at different level. When you're walking down from the car parking area, you could see these trees. When you uh, when you're at the first floor level, you could see trees at in a different perspective at its wide coverings. And then we have interior spaces kept completely white, and then the wooden textures. So even the flooring is kept white tiles, and then yeah. So these are the interior spaces, and then staircase also is done very light since he's from MS fabricator. So even we made the staircase very light. I'll just run through a wide variety of projects now. So we are into a few of institutional projects, and then so we're doing a couple of one is temple architecture. We're doing for one of logistic company in North Karnataka, VRL Group, and yeah, you could see here. So before starting up the project, so it is I was worked with CNT. So there we done residential projects, which is called Brigade Courtyard. So there I was part of that project, and this is in HMT layout. So commercial complex of 2 lakh square feet, which is in HMT layout. And this is Otis lifts, which is Otis lifts what we have it. So this is the in India manufacturing facility at Jigni. So it is 1.5 lakh square feet project. This is our firm philosophy. I'll just skip at this point of time. So this is a commercial project, is proposed one, and then it's going to start after another 1 or 2 months. So this is in Nagora. Then in this project, you can see lower level. We have a kind of a showroom space, and at the first floor level, we have a kind of a coffee shop which has the view of complete. This is a corner site project, so they could see and then become part of that neighborhood. And upper level is all the area. So client has still a clarity. So he's looking at PG, or it will be some kind of paying guest facilities, or it can be a small hotel with 15 to 20 rooms over here. So this is one more residential project. It is ongoing now. We are at first floor level. So this is ongoing commercial project at Magdi Road. So here we are calling this as a red ribbon. So the red ribbon of the whole thing which goes around the project here. So this is one more our first project. In fact, is this is at HSR layout. So this one is Tree Hagar, which we already discussed. So now we have kind of our apartment urban projects where, so this is apartment project completed in Wilson Garden, which has so it is called Park View. So what is Park View is there is a Wilson Garden in front of this apartment. So it has to overlook that garden. So as the name suggested, so what we given a space over is there is a balcony space, and then they can actually grow a kind of a planting and everything on this area. So it creates a kind of timeless spaces from inside out when they see the garden, which is visually, but they can actually be part of the garden at their balcony itself. So this is completed 30,000 square feet project. And now So one more project we had proposed. So currently it's on hold because of some funds and all that. They are getting it right. So this was done with the concept of filament. So what is filament is? So this is in heart of the Richmond road. So there, the client, the project area is 17,000 square feet. So in and around, when we look at many of the properties, they have many apartment projects. They're all selling it at the cost of around 4 to 5 CR. So when they come to the client comes to us, so always we to differentiate from other architects or other or as a architect as ethically how you can do a best project. So in this case, we proposed a client instead of 5 CR, you could sell this apartment for 6 CR. So how? So we proposed this project with a concept of it's apartment plus a villa. Basically, we are giving kind of that duple unit kind of a feel within the each apartment, which will give you that different volumes. How the grill sandwich house, what we done. So it's a different volumes what we done. But whereas this is much larger space, and then we can give them that kind of a feeler. You will see 100 feet length of 20 feet in front the garden, and then backside again there is a 20 feet. Only 60 feet is your building, what you're going to have it built. So that way people will feel it is premium. So what we told them is you can actually sell this for like a 20 to 25% better market price. So that is what. Uh, so with that only we could able to achieve this kind of a green and then like a very sustainable project over here. And this is the industrial warehouse project which is completed now. So in this uh, again stories to tell is we had a project 20,000 square feet. Client got notification from the KIDVA saying that this is a 20,000 square feet. But when we went and then done a survey, when you look at the survey plan, it is completely rhombus plan. So building a project for a factory is very much impossible here because the site is completely rhombus, creating that square or a rectangle space for the crane movements, and I think was very tough. So then, so we worked out, so discussed with KDB, and then we went and then fought with all the officials saying that okay, this site is when they given it to clients as a rectangle, but actually at site it is completely different shape. So we went and then got some relaxation on the setbacks, and then so we built this uh, warehouse with keeping north light open on the other side, and then south facade it is having a kind of a lower system, so that ventilation wise is nicely done, because usually these kind of factory projects, because of it's built with only a metal sheet, it will hold a lot of heat. So as architects, we need to create that very good light and ventilation inside these premises. So north light, as I told you earlier, it is always diffuse light. You can get as much of north light here. On the south facade, what you can see here is complete blank facade, so that we're trying to avoid sun from the south facade. So this is apartment project. So again, this is on hold. So here again, it's a G plus 11 story building with the concept of neighborhood blocks. So you can see here, it is 1 BHK and 2 BHK units, which are created as a community of their own space. So it is, instead of building a 11-story building, which is height of complete 11 story, So instead of that, we're trying to create that sense of identity to each units itself by combining them as a three units, three floors each other. So lower level stilt, and then the ground level is for parking, and then some kind of community spaces, clubhouses. So this is the institutional project. This is under construction. This is in Hubli. So here again, it was interesting project where we had two clients. So one is client is our developer who is directly appointed us as architects, but whereas the second client is his clients. So we need to satisfy our client by satisfying the his client, and also we need to keep our cost and then the timeline on the project uh, very minimal, and then the execution cost, and then the cost of construction, and then the time of construction has to be kept very minimal. So if you see the aesthetics over here, it is yeah. Before going to aesthetics, the challenge with the institution was to have a facility for dining, which is for 1,200 students. So they will have a breakfast in the morning, they will have afternoon snacks, lunch, and again evening snacks while going back. So we need to design 1,200 students has to take all these dining facilities throughout the day. It's like a marriage hall every day, 1,200 students. So, and there is a preschool, and then there is a primary school and high school, and then the plus two. So we need to cater to all these age groups in this project of 2 acres. So what was the challenge was we need to create a playground also. So to create a playground, usually any project of institution project is done like all around the perimeter you have a building, and center you will have a ground. So usually what happens is with this ground being in the center, there is a noise. So what we done is, so we kept the ground away from this building. So what you can see here in the center open space is not a ground. It is actually a assembly space. So we kept assembly space as kind of a sense of gathering space, sense of being as a student community where they will just come and then share idea, or there is an exhibition, something like that, which is more of knowledge sharing platform. Whereas other side, we kept a ground as a complete separate system with uh, it's kind of all the sports spaces are kept on the other side. So here, uh, so we need to separate the admin's facilities separately, and then preschool timings are different. So they starts at 8 o'clock and then close by 11. So we separated the entry and exit of these preschool separately, and primary and then all other plus grades were having an entry from one side. So this is kind of a separation, and then still being one complete project was it is well appreciated by the clients. So this is an apartment project completed. So this is in Banaspadi main road. So in this case, the site was a challenge because along the site there is a road which goes becomes a zero. So there is we have a north, south, and then east. West side we don't have any facade because it is it goes and becomes a uh, what do you call it, curvilinear, and then becomes a zero at one point. So, but still, what we tried managing here is creating a sense of order of spaces, which is living and dining, and then sorry, bedroom and then living, bedroom and living, bedroom living. So those kind of architectural order we created to create that sense of kind of the blocks are well maintained with periodically. There is a sports complex, what we doing now, which is this is in North Karnataka. So what happens is so this client comes up with the idea of building a sports complex, which is not for fun. It is about serious coaching them to perform in their performative years. Yeah. So we're doing this temple complex for one of the trusts. So the main temple complex of half acre is designed by there is a one more division. It is called a temple architect. So what is this temple architects do is they'll do only temple architecture and then they'll do a design and build. So they have their own queries and then they will get the stone and everything is for the project. So what happens is building a temple is a holistic uh, concern or a holistic approach. So that stone, that quarry is always used only for temple. It's not used for any other purpose. So that temple is already getting executed now. So whereas we assigned as a architect for entire other things, which is this is a temple complex of 6.5 acres. So other 6 acres we are designing in terms of their entry complex and their all the shopping arcade, and then so there is a dining facility, there is a meditation center, there is a Swamiji staying facilities, there is a Goshala, and there is a entrance kund. So all these things are designed. So here, so we given all our first cut drawings and everything. So now it's going to take up phase by phase. So yeah, this is the one institutional project. Again, it is designed as phase 1 and phase 2. Uh, so again, in this case, it's a residential institution project. So we have what do you call? So we have a international school as 1 to 10, and other side we have PU residential college. So this is a very reputed uh, like a PU residential college where they always get a top 10 rankings every year, one or two. So they make them be in this campus. So there is a facilities which is for staying facilities for girls and boys, and clients strict what do you call strict brief was the boys and girls should not meet at any point of time in residential facilities. So we need to design. See, usually the educational campuses are such that always you allow interaction and then you learn things by being what do you call sharing the knowledge. But somehow we are not like no understood their concept. But again, so we tried convincing them and then they tried convincing us, but we tried come to a common ground where they still be connected at other campuses and other things. So only at the residential area we made that kind of a separation, so they'll not be seeing the other side. So providing the windows and then providing those facilities where they'll not look into other windows, which is other side. So it was a challenging project, and it was very high dense project what we could see here. And also the challenge was doing project in phases. So as a designer in this project, we need to design a project done in two phases. But when it is built as a first phase, that phase should not look half done. The challenge was that. So we done a schema where even though if it is done only that much, it still looks completed project. So that was a challenge, and then we managed here. And also when you're doing phases, we need to when you're doing the second phase, how one could take the construction methodology to build this second phase. So without hampering the functionality of the existing facilities.
Yeah, I think that's a very unique challenge because when
Yeah,
projects are designed, they are supposed to be built in one go. But if the phase-wise construction is planned, then whatever is been done has to look completed,
yeah,
not half done, right?
yes,
Yeah, so
yeah,
that's pretty cool. So,
yeah.
Chandrakant, I have a few more questions, interesting questions being asked by the participants. Okay. So, what I suggest is we'll answer those, we'll pose those questions to Architect Chandrakant, but I would like to give a 5 minute window time to Dion. Dion has a small announcements to make. Okay. So, once his announcements are done,
Okay.
we'll get back with the questions being asked by the participants. All right. Okay, so for a minute, I'll keep the sharing. I'll give the sharing option to Dion. Okay.
All right. Right. So, am I audible?
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
Yes, you're audible. Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Fantastic. So, thank you, Architect Chandrakant, for coming here. It's been a pleasure having you here. It's been brilliant, and we love interacting with you and other professionals like you. And just to give everyone here a brief about what DQ Labs does. So what we do is we literally transform a hobby of art into a career. So a lot of people come with this hobby of art, and they don't know what to do with it. So what we feel is that art is an expression of ideas. All right. So we take these ideas and we guide students through, on focusing these ideas to a functional level where they're able to come up with certain solutions, right? And these solutions um, are very practical and come out, and students are actually able to develop logos like these, or and what we do is we guide them from a very design centric point of view, to make actual logos and houses and interiors and products, and this various aspects which, or opportunities which open up for the students. All right. So here we see opportunities in the area of architecture. So this could be shelter, exhibition, interior, or it could be general design, app design, photography, all of these, or it could be in the area of fashion as well, which is very interesting. Okay, so there's always opportunities for people at any age, for them if they're interested. But DQ Labs has been founded by Umesh and Sean. Both of them are designers from IIT Delhi. Umesh is an architect and a designer. He's a TEDx speaker. He's worked at Jaguar Land Rover and Hyundai Motors. And he's the founder of DQ Labs and Exam Play. And so is Sean. They were both classmates at IIT Delhi. And Sean is an engineer and a designer. And Sean's been with General Motors in the global design studio, worked on the Cadillacs and the Buicks and the Hummers, all of those. And he too is the founder of TQ Labs and Examply. And we are a wonderful team here. And Examply is a learning platform that we have created for our students. And it's actually so effective that NASCOM had given us the Design for India award, has been awarded to Examply. And that's the beauty of our team, because we are researchers. We are focusing on effective learning and effective teaching methodologies. And our research has been presented at the Singapore Learning, Design and Technology Conference. It's not very easy unless people are really focused and have something very innovative. They're not invited to present. And fortunately, our team has been able to do that, right? And fortunately, all our students also have the opportunity of experiencing our learning platform, which brings us to the next part of it. We have tons of free services and very, very high value services. So one is, if anyone is passionate about sketching, everyone is invited to join us for a free online sketching program. Absolutely free. Um, and this is an industry e-meet, uh, of course, that we're having today, but we have this every Sunday. Okay. And every Sunday you can just come here. There will be a different professional. Um, there we have e-meets as well. So e-meet your school. So industry e-meets and e-meet your school is another thing where we get phenomenal representatives from various schools coming to us. And for those of us, we have a lot of our own students here, and we have a lot of people here who are not our students. Some of them are passionate, some of them have not realized their passion yet. So, for those in the age group of 12 to 20, we have a design exploration program. We have the skill development program for any age. We have entrance exam coaching, NATA, NID, NIFT. We have portfolio guidance for anyone, whether you're studying, whether you need to build your portfolio um, for a college or for a company. That's what we're going to do. And we've got phenomenal results from whatever we've done. These are the latest updated results. NID PG first rank in 4 disciplines, NID UG over, now this number has gone to about 58 as of today. UC, we've had tremendous results. So is NIFT. We have over 100 students from DQ Labs who cleared NIFT round 1. And we also have JEE paper 2. Okay, so if anyone wants to reach out to us, please follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Google. We'd be happy, happy, happy to have you with us. Okay, if you feel the need to reach out to us, please feel free to connect with any one of our counselors over here, and they would be most happy uh, to see how we could help you out. And for our existing students, please pass the word around about our free industry meets, about the design sketching program. Let your friends know. We'd be happy to have them participate with us as well. All right. Thank you so much, Umesh, for
All
this
right,
opportunity.
Dion, thank you so much for letting everybody know. So there is a Learn Design Sketching 3-day program that is happening. A lot of students and individuals who are artistic are joining that program and improving their sketching skills in a very short period of time. And I recommend all the attendees of this particular meeting to utilize that opportunity to learn design sketching. All right, so within short amount of time, you can draw interiors, exteriors of products in perspective, in great perspective. All right, so thank you, Dion, for the presentation. And Chandrakant, yes, there are a lot of questions pouring in actually. Um, so a few select questions I'm gonna ask here. Okay, so some people want to know what kind of softwares or apps do you use for your work?
Okay, okay. Yeah, so we do use mainly the SketchUp for concepts, and then so first thing is any software. First is your sketch. Like, doing the sketching is very much important for a course of architecture. So you learn things and then understand things by sketching. So because what happens is what you think, and then it is coming onto your hand, and also you train yourself to get it putting into this. So the all the softwares are nothing but your tools to express those ideas. So we use SketchUp for doing a 3D modeling, and then there is a CAD software which we use for drafting purpose. And so, and second thing is, now we started using the Revit, which is called Autodesk Revit, which is part of CAD. So that will does both the scenario, doing a 3D modeling as well as a drafting tool. So we're using that one. And there are multiple other software which is parametric softwares where it's called Rhino, and then there is uh, what do you call the grasshoppers plugins, and then there are many plugins which we use. And for rendering software there is something called Lumion, and then there is Enscape. And now there are a lot of VR systems have come, so where we have additional uh, softwares which you plug in, use it as a plugin, and then you can use your space as if you are into the those spaces. Yeah, so
Right.
currently using these softwares, and then for again presentations, PST, Photoshop, Adobe Illustrators, Corel Draw, and those kind of softwares we use.
Right. Okay. So, do you recommend any books for the aspiring architects?
Yes. So what you can do is for aspiring architects, if you use any real-time architectural projects, then you'll be more distracted because you'll not be knowing very theoretical words and all that. So might be what you can do is start reading. First is, I think simple is start with magazines if you're aspiring thing, because once you get into a course, what happens is there is a theory is being told. Then what you can do is reading some books, and then you can try connecting, because what happens is, as I told you, when I was studying my course of architecture, there was one book called uh, Complexities and Contradiction Architecture. So that was written by the master, and then if you read one page, you need a internet, you need a dictionary to learn
It's
those
very
books, because it's so complex text and all that. So instead of that, for aspirants, you can start going through good magazines. There is something called Architectural Design Magazine, and then there is a website. What I told you, there is Architecture Daily, is a good website, and then there is a Archelo, which I was talking about. So there are now you have many avenues to learn for all the aspirants. When we were studying, so that time there was only source of knowledge is talk to your seniors, or go to hit the library and then learn yourself, or you go and visit the projects yourself. So now we
right.
have a you can start with magazines, you can start with these visiting, and you will have a multiple architectural offices in India, in abroad. You can actually go to the websites. You say best architects or something like that in the world. You go and then visit their websites. You will learn many things.
Right. Right. In this context,
Yes.
I can also suggest the Fountainhead novel, a very famous novel every architecture student tries to read at least. Okay. So that's it's authored by Ayn Rand. So you can follow or read that book to get an understanding of architecture and profession and all that. Okay. So Chandrakant,
Yes.
do you
Also,
accept? I'm sorry. Please go ahead.
yeah, there is a movie also on the same book,
Oh yes.
and it is called the same name, Fountainhead. It's a black and white
Yeah.
movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It is the Fountainhead. Yeah. So Chandrakant, do you take interns? If you take interns, what is the process?
Okay. We do take interns, but again, it's limited, and then it is more on merit basis. So people send their profile, architectural profile to portfolios to our email ID.
Hmm.
After first cut selection, so we'll ask for personal interview or Skype or these kind of meetings. And also we ask them their what sometimes many of the students, they do redo their portfolios and then send it. So usually ask them send their academic portfolios, whatever at that point of time, what was their design process thinking, and then how that is being transformed,
Right.
and then they're actually currently at this point of time. So that will help us to judge them as a person in a real time. And then we do take not multiple interns, maximum I think 2 to 3 interns we do take per
Right.
semester.
Right. Okay. So some attendees have little. They would like to understand a bit more between a civil engineer and architect, or studying civil engineering versus studying architecture. What is the difference?
Okay. Uh, yeah. So there is a great master architect, Walter Gropius, stated that architecture starts where the engineering ends. So that means engineering is civil engineering is something which is very vast. I would say civil engineering, when you say if somebody has done a civil engineering, so you have multiple things like, you have a nuclear reactor to build, you have infrastructure projects, you have what do you call railroad, bridges, culverts, and then the metro. There are hundreds of avenues as a civil engineer. But whereas architect is about the spaces. So what happens is architectural designer uh, getting into infrastructure project is very limited. So there is a naval architecture and there is a what do you call? You have, but you can't go and say I'll design a road or something. Only you can see in terms of, again there are multiple what do you call? Okay, let me be precise. So architecture is about, it's like a being a poetry. So how do you do a poetry, and then like it's a seamless song, it's a frozen music where it's a mixture of art and then the science. So whereas engineering is making uh, or it is about being what is existed. So for art there is a creativity. So there is a lot of things which we can imagine things, and then we can, as a poet, you will imagine things and then you make uh, impractical things, which actually helps. Engineering will helps to make that impractical things to make it practical. So so being an architect, uh, what happens is so people think that okay, civil engineer also can and then these ones, who is best kind of a thing. So there is always uh, critique of architect and then sorry, of engineer. So architect is one who is going to design the spaces, but engineering will help it in terms of your electrical, civil, plumbing. All those engineering will makes it come to a real time. So architecture more of virtual thinking, which made with the help of all these engineering streams. I
Right.
hope that is.
And yeah, yeah. In fact, I have a different take on what Walter Gropius has said. Okay, he said architecture starts where engineering ends, but I believe that architecture starts first and then the engineering follows. Because as an architect, we conceptualize the space and then
Hmm.
the role of the engineers come in, right? So
Right, right. No,
that's
what
what
happens
I.
is some of the projects, what's happening now is in a current profession is uh, suppose if you need to design a tallest high-rise building, okay.
Yeah.
So for Burj Khalifa, when they're doing that kind of a thing, first, more than architecture, they will go and then visit structural engineer, they will go and then visit wind engineer, they will go and then visit the facade engineer. So whether you can
Hmm.
design something which is going and then standing there. So with
Right.
all these instruments, so what I'm trying to say is it is nothing is superior and then nothing is lower here. It's all about interest of the project which we need to work. So depending
Correct.
upon the project, what I would say is it is So we need to collaborate with that engineer or that profession which needs more focus for that project.
Right, right. So,
Yes, yes.
so okay. So this is a very common question that we come across whenever we are interviewing the design professionals. Okay, the attendees are generally curious to know. Okay, so like for example, in terms of the percentage of the fee professional charge or how much money they make, because this is one of the concerns, a genuine concern a design aspirant would have, right?
Okay.
Even there is a question even the parents may ask, okay, would my son or daughter, they become a design professional, in this case an architect, would they earn enough? So what is your take on that?
Okay. Yeah. So in the sense, so architecture profession is such that it's again like as a art. So as a point of uh, so it is the service industry. So it is it has a ethical practice way of doing things. So as a starting as a your career, so there will be you'll be working as employees as a employee, and then when you start your own practice, so it depends upon what value you give it. You give it accordingly. Your fees is going to be you're asking. So in the sense, if clients find a value and then whatever fees you ask for it, so they're going to give it. Otherwise, what happens is looking at your past projects or something, then they'll say, okay, do we need to pay so much? So what usually I speak to our clients is when they look at okay, when we say it is 7%, 8%, 10%, 15%, so in the interior course. So what happens is they would think this project cost is going to be additional cost, but we tell them as a architectural experts, we tell them with this, if you think this is an extra, if it is a what do you call if the good design costs much, just think the bad designers. So that's the like no statement. So the idea is with the good design we try to make the property value much higher, and then so we need to make them assure that we're creating a value for the pay, for the fees what they're paying. So then what happens is clients are willing to pay, and we usually challenge our clients, okay, this is the with this kind of a project, you could see that the value in terms of their productivity and then their behavior and then their well-being within the spaces. So that is what we try to give them. And then even as I told you earlier, we challenge clients, okay, for a real estate projects, okay, instead of 5 crore project, they can sell it for 6 crore. So when you're saying that kind of a very confident design solution, which making them earn more. So that time what
Right,
happens is it will be coming to you, and then they will be respecting your fees and then remuneration, whatever you're asking for. So it is about doing a good job and then doing the best at what you're doing. So then it is there is no like a set standard industry standard payments of salaries.
right, right. Okay. So bottom line is architects don't go hungry, right? They make enough money.
No, always we are more than agree. We'll be making everyone feed. So in the sense, we will be appointing all the vendors, all the like. So we create a lot of job opportunities when the one project starts. So
Right,
currently with the scenarios, a lot of things, projects are on hold, and then most of labors, everything is gone back to their place.
correct,
We have
correct.
time even with our employees is we are running on a low energy.
Right, right, right. Okay, so I think we'll take one last question for today. It is from Satish Babu. So his question is a good college make a good architect, or individual talents make a good architect?
Okay, good question. Okay, so what happens is having the part of good college is always a plus point because they have a good process, they have a good filtering of students so that even the quality of students is much well versed, and also the faculties and then the course structure will be very nice. So that way it will help, but you can't stop a student who is willing to become an architect and then they want to uh, cross all the boundaries and then become a good architect. So it's a by not joining a different the good college, you can still become an architect, but it will be tough time, or you need to put in more hard work or to uncover yourself the to expose to many other things. So for the case of currently there are many colleges in Tamil Nadu, and I think so there are many faculties, and I think is not the facilities are not good enough. So I could see that the students are not getting enough inputs from the college or department of architecture. So choosing a good college is very much important. Even if not, they should put an effort to make it. They should learn things better.
That is true. In fact, what I have noticed is when I look at uh, my alumni. All right, so I had studied in a school which was only 5 year old when I entered the school. All right, so it was in Vishakhapatnam.
Okay.
And that time when I was studying in architecture school, I was to hear about SPA, CEPT, and all these biggies. Okay, only after joining an architecture school, I came to know about these biggies. Okay, and then when I look back now, okay, so what my alumni is doing, okay, they are doing some fantastic stuff. They are like the vice presidents of um, some architectural firms, and they are leading landscape architects. They're doing huge budget projects in Dubai. They are leading those projects. All right. So what I mean to say is these guys have come out of a small college, an unknown college, but now they are doing excellent work. So
Yeah.
what I can infer is the drive of the individual to achieve something great matters a lot, irrespective of the school that they come from. Okay, so some of
Okay.
my alumni has gone ahead and won these NDTV national awards and all that for their work, and they're doing excellent work. Okay, and in fact, when I see
Mm-hmm.
my own students, so we have been mentoring students since 2007. It's been almost
Okay.
more than right 13 years, right? So many of my students have come out of their colleges and etc., and they are doing excellently well, right? So I think
Okay.
the individual drive is the first aspect. Okay, the passion, the hard work that can put in, the networking skills that they have, the way they are able to drive their profession. That is number one. And yes, school will definitely support, but that support is only in the initial stages. Once they come out of the 5 years of college, then they are in the real world. I mean, everything depends on their own individuality and their skills, attributes, and all that. All right. So
Good.
similarly, we can also see Chandrakant here. He's from, some students were asking, where are you from? So you are from BVB School of Architecture, Hubli,
Yeah.
right?
Currently now it is called as a KLE Technological University.
Right, right. And you can see the kind of work Chandrakant is doing. Okay, some fantastic work. I really, really love this particular project on the left-hand side. So when you have shown me that project, I was like really mesmerized. And
Okay.
At that point, I always remember you as detail in every inch in your projects. So
Okay.
that's pretty cool. Okay. So thank you, Chandrakant. Okay. So thank you for your valuable time and spending your Sunday evening with our students and attendees. Okay, and showcasing all your work. It was really a delight to see the progression of an idea into a built and usable environment. So that the transition you have shown us is pretty amazing. Okay, with all the sectional details and the plans and technical drawings that you have shown is really helpful for all the attendees today. And I would like to thank you so much for being here and helping us and giving us this exposure.
Thank you, Umesh, and thank you, DQ Labs, for uh, giving me an opportunity and then refresh my 2.5 years of project back again. And it was amazing journey. And then yeah, I would like to, and also this project now getting featured in as a video format. There is a video channel called Buildofi. So by next weekend or next 10 days, it should be up in the YouTube
Very,
on buildofi.com.
very nice. That is really amazing. That's really amazing. And I would like to thank all my students and participants who have again dedicated their time, their Sunday evening time to understand and learn about the architecture profession and what Mr. Chandrakant, Architect Chandrakant is doing. All right. And we try to keep more of these. Okay, my children are really banging the door now. Now I have to probably go. Of the meeting. And I would like to thank all the students and attendees who are attending these sessions. We are going to have more such sessions in the coming Sundays. Keep watching our Facebook and Instagram pages. We'll be announcing these events over there. All right. So for now, thank you so much, all of you. Thank you, Chandrakant, for your time and your sharing of your knowledge. Thank you all so much.
My pleasure. Thank you. Signing
Thank
off.
you. All right. So, yeah, on a count of five, countdown, I'm going to sign out this meeting. All right. Five, four, three, two, one, zero. Thank you all. Hey, 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 hey. Hey,